Welcome to the Chronicles of House Evel, Part 1, Episode 5. My name is Ionos Brighton, Assistant Orator of the Evelian Historical Society, Chasm City Chapter. Last time in the Chronicles of House Evel, we explored the lives of the twin Earls of Avelia, Vandau and Jordanel II. This episode, we will explore the Nornish-prepared invasion of Wal and Earl Colin Evel's late years. Year 555. The Nornish tribes of the land of glaciers unite under one war chief, Uvar Dath-Ai, who launches an invasion of the Masangaran archipelago, coordinating attacks on outlying ports and villages of the Empire of Wa. At the same time, the Shohatari Dominion harasses Wan sea trade through the use of state-sanctioned piracy. Year 556. The Georgian Emperor deploys the Imperial Eastern Navy under the command of the Imperial Governor of the Land of Forests. Additionally, the Emperor sanctions the creation of private military companies as a counter to Shohatari, legalizing confiscation and destruction of rival vessels anywhere east of Mazangara. The Imperial Governor issues orders to Earl Colin Evel, instructing him to commission the creation of several companies, including Withern Skull and the Eastern Draga, which begin operating out of Costa Midela. Additionally, Colin deploys the Evelian Navy and increases patrols along the coasts of the Rithanor Peninsula. Year 557. Earl Colin travels from Avelia City to Costa Midela on the eastern shore of the Rithanor Peninsula to observe a large number of Imperial warships passing through the Sea of Masangara along the coast. Some smaller vessels entering in the port town in order to resupply before a longer journey into hostile waters around the land of glaciers. The private military companies Withern Skull and the Eastern Draga assist the Saramdeli company known as Flames of Arad in the interception of Shohatari-aligned ships, targeting all suspect vessels indiscriminately in a traversable area of the Great Reek known as Kumako's Gap, where commonly occurring violent storms are weaker. While Flames of Arad is credited with a majority of noteworthy interceptions, Avelia is financially compensated by the regional government, and Earl Colin dedicates resources to expanding Costa Midela into a naval hub to rival Port Sayoun out of the Earldom of Randall. Year 559. While the Nordish strike campaign concludes officially, the Georgian Imperial Navy continues to exert control along the coast of the land of glaciers. The Imperial Governor is formally rewarded by a reformed Imperial Senate, which is now comprised of nobles and military leaders from the central and southern regions of Georgia. The Senate consolidates the governorships of the Land of Forests, Land of Plains, and the recently subjugated Land of Iron, aimed to a singular office, the Imperial Governor of the Center region, which is popularly, for God's sake, popularly referred to as the Central Imperial Governor. Later in the year, the new Central Imperial Governor holds a reward ceremony in the city of Brukoma, a former Svaldorian colony in territory originally settled by members of the late Vakati tribe. Earl Colin Evel attends a gathering of nobles from all over the central imperial region including Earl Saramat, descendant of the Saramdeli tribe, as well as descendants of other subjugated Prairie Clan members. And I really hope that the sound of my cat knocking over doesn't end up in this recording. But let's pretend that that nothing happened. For Evelia's assistance to the regional government during what is later known as the Nornish Unification War, Earl Colin is granted authority over a new barony across Rotterdam Sound named Polstarg. Year 561. Earl Colin Evel grants the barony of Polstarg to his son Ereval White, who then registers a new minor heraldic house, House Evel. Year 566. Earl Colin Evel passes away from natural causes at age 71. Colin's legal heir, Maximus, becomes Earl of Avelia. Year 568. A bastard son is born to Earl Maximus Evel, named Edvard. Year 569. A bastard son is born to Earl Maximus Evel, named Coll. Year 570. Earl Maximus Evel divorces Baroness Kinder and renounces his authority over the barony of Thirelot, transferring vassalage back to the central imperial governor. Edward and Carl are sent to the House of the White Rose. Year 571. Earl Maximus Evel becomes known as the Drunkard. Year 573. Earl Maximus the Drunkard marries Baroness Delphina of Costa Midella. Later that year, a son is born to Maximus and Delphina named Maximus II. Year 580. Earl Maximus the Drunkard commissions the establishment of a road system linking towns within the imperial baronies of Fairwind, Elm, and Thirelot. I don't know what the has happened there to my voice, but anyway, he linked the imperial baronies of Fairwind, Elm, and Thirelot with those in the earldom of Avelia. Additionally, he commissions the construction of a series of taverns along this Avelian highway, all of which are named the Young Vian for some reason, with the tavern staff being employed by the Earl himself. A rudimentary information-gathering network is formed. Maximus establishes the office of Spy Master and promotes Umi White to the position. Year 590. Earl Maximus the Drunkard passes away due to, guess what? Alcohol poisoning at the ripe old age of 52. He's succeeded by his son Maximus II. Let's guess what he's going to be known for. Year 591. Earl Maximus II comes of age and establishes a reputation as a flagrant carouser. And then we have a load of bastards. A bastard son is born to Maximus Ingwina, daughter of Baron Magnavel of Fairwind. The boy is named Ebrin. Then we have another bastard son born to Maximus named Cowin. There's no information about the mother in this case. And then we have a bastard daughter being born. Her name is Greta.
Cut! Cut! Are you okay? You seem a bit flustered.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's just get through the rest of this recording. Please. As I was saying, another child is born to Maximus and an unknown lady. The child is named Greta. Year 592. Eberyn, Cowyn, and Greta are sent to the House of the White Rose. Year 593. Earl Maximus II becomes known as the Rake. Year 594. Earl Maximus the Rake establishes a festival of carousing known as the Lion's Gate Festival, named for a large alehouse, the Lion's Gate, where his late father, Maximus the Drunkard, was reputed to frequent instead of attending court. Year 600. Due to a restructuring of vassalage in the central imperial region, Earl Maximus the Rake has granted authority over the baronies of Fairwind, Thurelot, and Elm as liege lord. In the imperial capital, he is colloquially referred to as a Count of Riddenor, though the imperial senate refuses to recognize Avelia as an imperial county, an administrative status reserved for those states within the Geogan Empire's heartland, the southern imperial region. Year 606. Earl Maximus the Rake begins construction of Riddenor Castle, a large concentric castle straddling the northern tablelands of the Riddenor Peninsula, overlooking the mouth of Radawar Sound. Year 610. Earl Maximus the Rake marries Gwynna Fairwind. Finally, later that year, a son is born to Maximus and Gwynna named Zamazel. Year 626. Construction of Riddenor Castle is completed. Earl Maximus the Rake moves his family out of Avelia Keep. Year 628. House Evel comes of age and establishes a reputation as a talented strategist. As the 630th year since the birth of the Geogan Empire ends, and a remarkable period of peace for the Riddenor Peninsula and the Earldom of Alalia passes, the aspect of war looms on the horizon. Stay tuned for Part 2 of the Chronicles of House Evel. Thank you.